Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, my little degenerates. It's your boy, Mr. Degenerate, here back at it again for another video. And we're at the crust. We're at the crust of a new dawn, a new age of DC films. When it comes on to DC Studios, Superman, it's almost there. June 11th, we're almost there. But before we can embrace the sun, before we can embrace that movie, hopefully it's a good movie, hopefully it's a great Superman movie, we gotta go back to the cemetery. This has been a long time coming. This has been something I wanted to do ever since I started my YouTube channel. It's to talk about the DCEU. As you know, it is officially dead. So I decided to finally pay my respects, pay it the proper respects, because Warner Brothers didn't want to pay it no fucking respects when they decided to give the Flash movie. We're gonna talk about that movie, but I just felt like that the DCEU never got its fair send off. So for this video, I want to do something a little special, a little deep, which is to rank all the DCEU movies, but also reminisce about these movies, because regardless of whether you like the DCEU movies or not, they are part of comic book culture, and throughout this video I'm just gonna reminisce and talk about my experience with the universe and give a definitive answer on a lot of these movies. This video will be the longest video I've ever done on the channel. And so I hope you guys will enjoy. But of course, if you do not want to watch the whole thing and you just want to focus on a particular movie and get my thoughts on a particular movie, there will be timestamps in the description box below. You can look through and just skip to a movie you want to do. With all that being said, let's begin this. I'm extremely excited because I did rewatch all these movies, by the way, and I also, because I'm such a fucking sinner. I'm such a fucking crazy person. I decided to rewatch not only the original cuts of these films, but also the extended cut. So I watched some of these movies like twice in a fucking row. So this is why the video is gonna be long. So if you motherfuckers think, that you were gonna survive and whatnot, if I had to suffer through some of these trash ass movies, you're gonna suffer through it with me, all right? So I don't want to hear nobody complaining in the comment section that, oh, this shit too long, motherfucker. I had to sit through literally a bunch of these fucking awful movies, bruh. If I have to suffer through this, you're suffering through this too. Call this the degenerate cut. This is the degenerate cut edition, all right? So without further ado, let's just begin. And we're gonna start off with the movie that started it all. By the way, we're going chronological order, but let's start off with the movie that started it all. Man of Steel. So Man of Steel, we're gonna put this is gonna be an easy one. We're gonna put it like around a C. Adequate. Tip of the line. Adequate film. What can I say about this film? I think how we should start this is really honestly started by reminiscing what this film means to me. I first watched this movie like around the opening week. I didn't see it the opening day, but I saw it the opening week. And this was the first movie I watched where after I watched it, it made me say, I kind of want to watch movies on my own, because I remember watching this movie with my cousin, and she isn't really into comic book movies like that, and like she really, really was confused by the end of it. She enjoyed it, but she had the same kind of like things felt. She had the same problems I had with the movie, which we're gonna get into, and that was like the tone of the film. And really, honestly, it was that moment that sparked an idea in my head that maybe I should try watching movies on my own. And so ever since this movie came out, I did watch most, if not all, my movies by myself. And I realized like the movie going experience when you're watching a movie by yourself is actually pretty relaxing. You don't have to worry about if a person is like fucking enjoying the movie, or like, you know, if they're kind of like have to explain certain dumb shit to people. Like, I'm just trying to focus on the movie and whatnot. I do still do group settings where I hang out and do with my friends and watch movies, but sometimes I just prefer watching a movie on my own. I actually do prefer that. And this movie kind of taught me that. So this movie will always have a special place in my heart. But to go on with the actual movie itself, Man of Steel, I actually like this movie a lot. I know a lot of my friends don't like this movie at all. But I'm one of the rare few people who actually think this is a pretty good movie. Having said that, is it perfect? Absolutely not. This is why it's at C tier. There are a lot of problems I have with this movie, and we're going to get into that. But if I could say the one thing I love about this movie is the lore building. I think what Zack Snyder did for the Krypton side of this film is really interesting. Of how like the Kryptonians was explorers looking for natural resources and whatnot, which ties into the whole like machinery engine shit that they use in Metropolis to destroy Metropolis. The whole idea that they never had a natural birth and like they've been bred to have certain roles in life. So if your ass is supposed to be a teacher, you're a fucking teacher. If your ass was meant to be a fucking firefighter, you're meant to be a firefighter. There's no way you could change your programming. It's not like us humans where it's like, oh, well, we can do whatever the fuck we want. We choose the lifestyle we chose. And I found that so fascinating because then it connected it with Superman in this film, because throughout the whole film, he's just trying to discover himself and he's given the opportunity to try different jobs and try different things in life. He was given the opportunity that the Kryptonians never had. And so I found that whole lore stuff the best part of the film. In fact, it was so good. It angers me that Zack and Warner Brothers, mostly Warner Brothers, didn't allow this to be more fleshed out in subsequent sequels. We could have done a lot with this shit just on its own. But Warner Brothers wanted to rush the fucking universe. And this is going to be a recurring thing with Warner Brothers, rushing. So we only got this movie to explore Krypton and whatnot. Do I think Krypton sequence lasts a little too long? Yeah, but I think what they set up is pretty good. Another thing I love about this movie is the cast. Everyone's doing a fucking awesome job. Lawrence Fishburne, like everybody, like fucking Amy for Lois Lane, everybody's doing a fantastic job. But to me, the crowning fucking jewel, the fucking MVP of this movie is Henry Cavill. Henry fucking Cavill, bro. Like, I love this man. He is the fucking GOAT. And it's such a shame, and I always tell people this, it is such a shame Warner Brothers fucked this man multiple times, because he could have played a great Superman. And in the moments where he's given to play a Superman, that's like one for one like the comics, is fucking awesome. That scene where he's like being contained by the fucking by the US government and whatnot, and he's just sitting down being interviewed by Lois, and he's smiling and he's just like calm and collective, and they're talking about the S and shit. It's so fucking Superman. And Henry plays it so good. Throughout the whole movie, Henry is just killing it. And again, his physique, mwah. The costume, fucking awesome. Love this motherfucker. I even love for the costume, a little detail is that it has the Kryptonian language on the costume. Little details like that. But Henry Cavill sells it. He sells the power fantasy of Superman so well. I was like, fuck me. He makes Superman feel godly. And I could not praise him anymore for that. But another person that I don't think gets enough love is Michael Shannon, who plays General Zod. General Zod is the best DCEU villain throughout this whole list. No one tops General fucking Zod, all right? General Zod is a well-written villain, bruh. Because, again, tying back to the lore of the Kryptonians, he comes to Earth with the sole intent to reclaim and restart his people. And I found that so fascinating that if things had played out differently, and if he was like born probably as not a general, I would say if he was born as a politician or somebody else, maybe he could have talked things out, and maybe he didn't have to go the genocide way. But because his mind and because he was so focused on making sure the fucking Kryptonian race survives, he handles it in a militaristic way where he's just like, fuck it, we just gonna genocide motherfuckers, take over this planet, terraform it into Krypton, and fuck all that nonsense. Like I found that so compelling. And again, like, even how he plays it near the end where like everything's lost, he's lost like his people and everything, and General Zod just breaks down in this monologue to Clark, to Superman, and he just is like, now everything's gone, everything's been taken from me, I have nothing left to live for except the destruction of Earth. It's like so good. Oh my god, General Zod, bro, he's so good. Also, he has some of the funniest fucking lines. Like when him and Clark is fucking fighting, and this motherfucker is like, where did you learn how to fight? On a farm? I was dying laughing rewatching it because I totally forgot about that line, but it's so fucking great. Like, I was like, damn, he's going for it. I will find him. I will find him. This movie, again, kudos to him. He's so good. Another thing I love is, again, the special effects. Again, like nowadays, with all this CGI nonsense, I gotta say, Zack movies, regardless how you feel about them, they look really good. All right, a lot of them. That's something I'm gonna praise. Is that a lot of Zack's movies look incredibly good. So I'll give him that. And also how he displays power levels is fucking awesome. Like, oh my goodness. Like, just the way how characters punch and attack each other, and the shockwave that every punch takes and everything is so fucking good. Like, Zack cooked, all right? He cooked with this movie. And another thing, this is the least Zack Snyder movies. The rest of these get more Zack Snyder-ish, but this is the least Zack Snyder is. There's no fucking slow-mo, no nonsense like that. It's just Zack cooking, being somewhat restrained, and he's making a fun movie. Having said all of that, I gotta be honest, I completely understand why a lot of people don't like this movie, why it's so divisive, and I also kind of slightly disagree with people when they say this is the most underrated superhero movie. Like, no, I completely understand why so much people is like divisive on it, even though I like it. For one, I think the biggest issue I have with this movie is the tone. Superman is this bright beacon of hope, and it feels like with this movie they looked at the success of the Dark Knight trilogy and was like, let's imitate that for Superman. And it's like, I don't mind that you try to go for a darker take or a more serious take of Superman, but let's have some levity. I think this movie is missing a lot of levity. Like, we need some fucking jokes. Like, I'm not even trying to say we need to throw like every 24-second jokes like a Marvel movie, but like, let's just make fun of how silly all this shit is. There's an alien invasion going on. There's a man dressed up in a blue and red tights and shit. Like, let's make fun. Let's like have a little fun and realize that this shit is just kind of silly. Zack almost feels like he's too afraid to commit to that. I feel like later on in his movie and in the rest of the movies, it gets better. But for this movie, it's kind of like, man, like we need some jokes, bruh. We need some color pattern. Like, brighten this shit up, man. Like, let's not have it so doom and gloom. You can still have the seriousness, but we could throw jokes. And I think that's what makes. And funny enough, Christopher Nolan also helped out with this movie, or he's an executive producer for this movie. This is what separates Christopher Nolan from Zack Snyder, because Christopher Nolan knows in those Dark Knight trilogy to have some fucking fun. In each one of the Dark Knight movies, there's tons of jokes in those movies that are fucking hilarious. Like in The Dark Knight, the infamous scene of fucking Joker fucking like blowing up the hospital, and it's played like a Looney Tunes episode. It's fucking awesome. Like, where's jokes like that in this film? Like, we need, like, there's a reason why Christopher Nolan's the GOAT, because he knows that, yo, this is a comic book. At the end of the day, he knows, like, we're taking this shit serious, but this is also a comic movie. Let's throw some lighthearted humor in this shit sometime. Another issue I have with this film is the characterization, and this is another big hit for this movie, and this is the shit that really hurt the DCEU, in my humble opinion. It started off on a very rocky slate. It's the characterization of characters. I am all for you trying to take new creative twists on characters, but they still have to kind of reminisce or have qualities of what makes the character. You know, you could do a more serious take of Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man trilogy, but you still need to have the characters still be the characters, and that's what the Amazing Spider-Man did. He still was Spider-Man. They just modernized a lot of the aspects of him, which is fine. This movie tries to modernize Superman, and I feel like a lot of like what makes Superman unique and special is lost. Like, again, I think Zack goes for this whole like fucking this brute and godly presence, but he forgets like the humanity. I feel like he forgets like what makes Superman like cool is that he isn't afraid to like walk amongst the people. All right, he's this all powerful figure, but he's someone that you can walk up to and shake hands with and wave at, and he's gonna wave at you. Again, like, some people may say that's fucking lame, but the simple fact that we're seeing Superman like near the end of the movie not give a fuck about saving anybody, not trying to save anybody, is ridiculous. Like, again, I know the movie has moments where he saves people, but a lot of the action scenes with Superman, I'm not gonna lie, comes off very much like he's a fucking brute. Like, all he's trying to do is just pulverize everybody. He's not trying to worry about saving people or trying to save the day. He's just like, I gotta beat the fuck out of this person. He almost acts like Homelander, and it's kind of like, for Homelander, that makes sense. For like Omni-Man, that makes sense for their characters, for the world. But for Superman, he cares about the little people. And I know some people are gonna sit here and say, well, Mr. Degenerate, he fucking like saves people and oh, he saved the world. Doesn't that count? And I'm like, well, yeah, it counts that he saved the world. Well, what about the individual, the small individuals? Like, to me, just seeing that final sequence. And by the way, the final fight sequence is fucking awesome. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all that shit don't look awesome. Seeing fucking Superman punch somebody through a building and they're flying, and Superman's flying into buildings, that's cool and shit. But let's be realistic here. the simple fact that he tries to not save anybody, there's no moment where he saves anybody, is ridiculous. He's crashing, he's fucking putting Zod's face through a building. It's ridiculous. I was like, bro, like, come on, Zack. It's like, come on, that's not Superman to me. I can't. It's like, this Superman feels like a brute. And, you know, that to me is not how Superman should feel. So I disagree with that characterization. I fundamentally disagree with the characterization of Pa Kent, even though I know where they're going with. I know what Zack is trying to do. He's trying to make him more like a normal parent, where he's just like, you know, maybe you should have let those kids die. But to me, that's not Pa Kent. Pa Kent is someone who's gonna encourage Clark to do what he wants to do, but also tell him, okay, here's a different angle, try to handle it this way, you know. And that's what makes Pa Kent such a good character, because he never once tells Clark, oh, maybe you should let the kids die, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, or maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you shouldn't do that. No, he's always like, no, you should go for this, but you got to try this way. You know, this is why my favorite interpretation of Pa Kent is the Smallville, because throughout all those, up until his death, it's really, really him giving Clark like good, valuable lessons to learn in life. And it's like really good, man. Really, really good. I also don't like how he fucking dies in this film. Like, it's such the dumbest way to get rid of a character. I would have preferred it if, you know, Clark did try to save him, and then near the end of the film, or when he tried to save him, he failed, and so that brings up the dilemma of why Clark feels like he's not ready to be a hero and protect Earth. But my God, like, Jesus, like him just saying, no, even though you can run super fast, even though people are all running away from a tornado or is under a fucking bridge, which I think that's a bad idea, by the way. Don't save me. I want you to keep your identity a secret. Even though it still runs into the same old like comic book silly shit where it's like everybody should know that that's Superman, but whatever. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie. Despite my complaining, I know I just went on a whole tangent about this film. I ultimately do like it, and I do think, again, the fight scenes and the lore building, my God, the fucking fight scene where this motherfucker is like fighting the fucking two Kryptonians in the city, and they fight in fucking IHOP. So good. Anyway, this movie has a lot of fun energy, and here the killing Zod stuff, the big crust, the big debate. Should Superman kill? Whatever. Me personally, I just think the scene is stupid. Again, I don't even mind that he killed, to be honest. When I first watched it, I was shocked as fuck. I was like, why would you do that? But, you know, rewatching it now and time has passed, I don't even mind that he killed. My greatest issue, and this is going to lead into another negative, and that we don't have time to explore that murder. Because the whole film, he's just trying to look for answers about his upbringing and whatnot. And he kills Zod, and there's nothing. Yeah, he cries, but there's no like moral conundrum he has to deal with after that. There's no moment where he sits down and like really feels like damn, I just snuffed out the last person of my race. Like, damn, like what does that do to his psyche? You know, now he's officially the last son of Krypton. Like, none of that. We don't get to explore that because we only have 10 more minutes of the film. We gotta wrap this shit up. We don't have any time to explore that. So for me, and none of the subsequent movies explore that. So again, for me, I'm just kind of like, man, like you set up something interesting, and it's fine if you're gonna go something that big, which Christopher Nolan disagreed with. if you're gonna set up something that big, you gotta pay it off in subsequent films, and nothing besides the Doomsday stuff is paid off of Zod's death. Like, it's kind of crazy to me. Like Zack decided to do that, to do something so drastically big for Superman, but not explore it at any point. Also, I just think it's kind of silly that Superman couldn't block the beam with his hand. He couldn't move Zod's head. He couldn't fucking slam his head down on the ground. Just so many different ways we could have stopped that fight. But like I also would probably argue is that if the fight had dragged out anymore, Clark would have lost, because again, General Zod is just a better hand-to-hand fighter than Clark. So overall, I like the movie. It has tons of problems, but I do think it was a solid start to the DCEU. And if they had taken their fucking time and made a sequel, we could have gotten something great. But instead, we got the sequel, the semi-sequel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Beyond, Dawn of Justice. And I gotta say, this movie broke. If you thought Man of Steel broke the fucking internet, you ain't seen nothing yet until, Batman v Superman came out, bro. Like, you would have swore this is when, to me, the ship became on fire. Already the ship was struggling along, but it was okay. We were all kind of divided on the movie, on the DCEU, but we were kind of like, okay, we'll chug it along. When Batman v Superman came out, holy shit, man. I could tell you, the opening day, because I went to the opening day of this movie, and it was enormous. The lead up to this movie was so fucking cool, man. Every day, you had fucking Ben Affleck talking about the film. You had fucking Henry Cavill talking about the film. There was posters everywhere. Yo, you couldn't go anywhere in New York without seeing the fucking posters, especially in Manhattan, 42nd Street. Oh my goodness, you would have swore this was the end all of be all. Batman and Superman in a movie together. Holy shit. I just reminiscing about this shit is just giving me goosebumps, because I remember the fucking the lead up to it. I remember in one interview they had Henry Cavill was in New York, and no one knew that Henry Cavill was in New York, and he's just in plain open, no one recognizes him. Because at that time we only had Man of Steel, so of course people was all right, whatever. And man, this is the lead up to this movie, man. And my God, and I remember my cousin who went to go see Man of Steel with me, she came to see this movie with me. It was the excitement was through the roof. I'm sorry I'm delaying on this, but I really want to get through to you guys how big a phenomenon this movie was when it first came out. It was so huge. We were all excited. When I'm excited for something, when I'm starting to wear the whole geek outfit, all right? I had a fucking Batman v Superman shirt. I had the hat. I had a Batman hat. I was livid. I was so ready for this movie. I was Man is still fucked up, but it's okay. Zack got this in the bag in the sequel. All he has to do is rectify some of the shit I just complained about, and he gonna turn it into a movie. He gonna turn this into a banger. It's gonna blow the shit. A lot of people thought this movie was gonna be Civil War. Oh Lord, how times have changed. Anyway, and I remember watching this movie, and I remember just coming out of the theater, and the energy went from 100 to 0 real fucking quick as soon as we left the theater. It was like everyone unanimously was conflicted. You could just feel it. This was the first time I ever noticed having a premiere movie where everyone walked out super conflicted on what the fuck they just watched. Like, usually for a Marvel movie, everyone walks out, they're all happy. For Man of Steel, people walked out, some of us was like, yeah, all right, like, this is all right. But everyone was so conflicted. We had some people like saying like this is the worst comic book movie of all time. Other people was talking about this was like the best shit since sliced bread. Some people was like me, who was like trying to process what the fuck that I just watched. It was ridiculous. But let's finally talk about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, there's two versions of this movie. There's the theatrical cut, and then there's the ultimate cut. Depending on which cut you watch, it's either gonna be a fucking F tier, S tier if you love the movie, or it's gonna be a D tier. For me, I'm gonna give it a D. And why I gave it a D is pretty simple. I don't like this movie. I think this movie fundamentally fucks up the DCEU in a huge way. And it just leans into more of my negatives of of Man of Steel. Batman v Superman has literally the same problems I just said, but done even worse. For one, in the original cut of this film, I think the fucking story plotline makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like, generally speaking, this shit is just dumb as fuck. Like, you have Lois trying to do some investigation work on a fucking bullet, and we're like, why the fuck is she focusing on a bullet where she knows, and all of us, the audience members, know Superman doesn't use a fucking gun. So it just was just stupid. Not only that, but characters are just stupid. The whole movie just absolutely makes no fucking sense if you didn't watch the alternate cut. The alternate cut fixes this movie a lot, but I still have tons of issues. But the best positive I will give this movie is Ben Affleck's Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman is fucking awesome. His physique, his suit is fucking awesome. Like, I cannot praise Zack anymore for how he directs like cool fight scenes and cool imagery. Up to this day, the warehouse fight scene is still one of the best comic book fight scenes of all time. All right, you can't touch that shit. All right, yeah. If you hate this movie, you can hate it, but you can't deny. Even when I watched this movie, the original cut in the theater, when that fucking fight scene happens and it ends, people was applauding. I was applauding. This shit, it felt like the Arkham game came to life. Like, the way how he fights, the way how he moved, the way how he came at people, the way how motherfucker, there's one scene where this motherfucker Batman is blocking on knives with his gauntlets and shit, just like the Arkham games. And there's one little snippet where one of the fucking the guards cut Batman's cowl with the fucking blade, and it just looks badass. I was like, Jesus Christ. And Batman's just going in. Batman is fucking awesome in this movie. Ben Affleck killed it. All right, he killed it. Other things. I can't stop smiling, bro. Like, that scene is awesome. This is why I gotta give Zack his flowers. Regardless of anything, I gotta give Zack his flowers. That scene was awesome. But yeah, all the fight scenes in this movie is awesome. But yeah, like, that was awesome. Jeremy Irons, I believe, plays Alfred. And Alfred is so fucking good in here, bro. He's just like the old man that's just tired of Bruce Wayne shit. Like, you can tell they've been doing this shit for so long. They're just like, bro, Master Wayne, I'm tired of your shit, bro. Bro. And I love it. He actually brings a lot of the levity to the film that I've been complaining about for Man of Steel. He brings it in this movie. And so I want to give the movie props because they do try to fix that problem in this movie. Another issue I have, another thing I will say about this movie is the score. And this is something with both Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, the fucking music, the score, Batman's theme, Superman's theme, Wonder Woman's theme, so fucking good. It's Hans Zimmer, so of course it's good, but it's fucking good. And that's where all the positives I have for this movie. Again, regardless of what edition you watch, this movie's ass to me. But I like it. I tolerate it only because of the ultimate cut. The ultimate cut makes this movie makes somewhat more sense. But my greatest issue is, and it's gonna be the number one issue, characterization. The characters in this movie are not fucking good. I fucking can't stand any of the characters in this film. Batman's a hypocrite. This motherfucker Batman is judging Superman for killing people, but he's murdering people. And before anybody pulls up, he unintentionally doesn't kill people, or the classic one everyone likes to throw out, Snyder fans like to throw out, well, he fucking in the other Batman movies he kills too. I didn't like it when fucking Michael Keaton's Batman killed. I always never liked when fucking Bruce left Ra's al Ghul to die. So why the fuck would I like Batman fucking murdering people? The only Batman, in my humble opinion, who has not murdered anybody is the animated movies and Matt Reeves' take of Batman. That is it. So why are we making that an excuse? And even then, those movies are way more better written than this movie. So let's not use that excuse. This Batman's a fucking murderer. This man willingly knows that he's branding people, and when they go to prison, they're being murdered. And in the original cut, it makes absolutely no fucking sense. In the ultimate cut, it makes a little bit more sense because he explains it a little bit more. But the simple fact that Batman, the world's greatest detective, can't put two and two together that he's being manipulated by fucking Lex Luthor is ridiculous to me. The world's greatest detective. I don't give a fuck how depressed Batman is. If you're gonna do a year 1 and year 2 Batman, I can probably let it slide. This is a year 10 Batman. This is a Batman who's been on the fucking streets of Gotham for many years. What the fuck are you talking about? He's getting manipulated by fucking Lex Luthor to go after Superman. What the fuck are you talking about? And he can't figure it out. The fucking Batman I know, as soon as he sees a fucking, like, a recurring incident is happening in Gotham and Metropolis, that people are dying, you know what he's gonna fucking do? He's gonna be like, wait a minute, let me go and investigate that shit, because he's the world's greatest detective. He's one of the best detectives in the DC universe. What the fuck are we doing here? Like, he's just dumb. Batman is just dumb in this. Superman, characterization. His characterization fucking sucks again. Not only is this Superman moping and just like sad and depressed that people don't like him. In the original cut, it made no sense why he had beef with Batman. In the ultimate cut, it makes total sense because everyone's scared of this new Batman. And he goes to Metropolis and actually do some investigation work, and everyone's scared of Batman. So he's like, why are we not covering this? In the original cut, that shit made no fucking sense at all. But even then, Superman is just crying and whining that no one likes him. His mom throws out like, oh, you don't owe the earth anything. And I'm like, Clark, boo-boo, your dad told you about this shit, all right? Like, it's either you gonna man up or shut the fuck up. Like, your dad told you about this shit. Like, of course, you came into the world and no one's gonna like that. Like, you are a superpower being. And the whole movie, he's conflicted and whatnot. And it's just like, bro, it's crazy how his character arc comes down to, should I save people? People don't like me. Oh, people don't like me. I'm not good at this. Oh, I have nothing to fight for. You literally have your mom and you have Lois to fight for. What the fuck are you talking about? It's crazy that his final act in this movie is realizing, wait, the reason I fight and I should be Superman is for Lois. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't want this mopey ass, corny ass, sad boy fucking Superman. Like, fuck all this shit. And just to hear him say lines of dialogue of, oh, you know, no one stays good in this world. Superman should never say shit like that. Superman should never say shit like that. All right, Superman is the superhero of hope and optimism. All right, like if any other superhero, I could expect that from Spider-Man. That's fine. Fucking Batman, that's fine. But Superman, no. That, I think that was the moment I was like, me and this Superman has a huge disconnect. I don't fuck with this Superman. So that characterization is fucked. Wonder Woman absolutely does fuck all in this movie. Like, she's just there just to look pretty. Gal Gadot's just there to look pretty. Thank God for her movie, which I can't wait to talk about. But she's just fuck off with this shit. I was like, what the fuck is this? And Jesus, the only person who's smart in this movie, to be honest, is Lois. Lois in the ultimate cut is the only smart fucking person in this movie. I was like, Jesus Christ. Then we get to my boy, Lex Luthor. Oh boy, Lex Luthor. Holy shit, is Lex Luthor so fucking... Oh boy, you know, if you never read the comics, you would probably think this is the best fucking movie ever, bro. And think this performance of Lex is so fucking Oscar worthy. Anybody who likes this Lex Luthor, I please beg you to pick up a comic. I please. Matter of fact, don't even pick up a comic. Go watch all the 90s fucking Superman the animated series, all right? Because, Jesus. Hell, go watch Superman and Lois. And I love that fucking show, all right? That's a good interpretation of Lex Luthor, all right? Bro, that's a good interpretation of Lex Luthor. This shit, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is literally the Riddler, all right? And you know what's crazy? If you listen to his dialogue, what he's saying is making sense about like how like my father was all powerful and he was an asshole and he was mean and cruel to me. So if we have someone like Superman that is all powerful, all knowledgeable, and all powerful, then he must be corrupt. There's no possible reason why a powerful person like him exists. And he literally is not abiding by our rules. All right? No, he's a fucking monster. He's a devil. And I'm going to expose this devil for who he is. Again, I think what they have on script makes fucking sense. How the fuck Jesse Eisenberg, or whatever the fuck his name is, the actor who's playing him, is playing this shit, is fucking garbage. And I think this is the reason why we don't hear from this actor all too much. Like, because of this fucking movie. This movie really hurt his career. I really believe that. I think even he recently came out and said that. Bruh, like, his fucking Lex Luthor is ass. So ass. Alright. So ass, bruh. Oh my god. What else? The fucking Martha scene. I gotta give Zack his flowers a little bit with this scene. I actually think it makes sense. But fuck me. The way how it's edited and cut is the most silliest shit ever, bro. It's like, you know how like for fucking Winter Soldier, his like words to like stop him from fighting and whatnot and to control him and you got to say a bunch of numbers and shit. That's literally what the fuck. It's literally the same shit for Batman. If Batman is trying to mug you, just say Martha and this motherfucker will freeze. It makes no sense, bro. And because the movie takes itself way too serious, it comes off so silly. Like, I remember when I watched it, I was like, oh, you know, that's smart. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh my God, that's so smart. But then people were laughing and giggling in the theater. I was like, wait, no, why are y'all laughing? And then I thought about it, and then I looked again, and I see him cut the cuts, bro, the editing, oh my God. The way how they cut it, I was like, no, Zack, no. This is ass, bro. And it doesn't make sense because later on in the fight, he literally says to Clark, your parents probably thought you were special. Acknowledging that this motherfucker knows that he has parents. Motherfucker, the whole movie, people know who fucking Superman is. Like, Batman knows who Superman is, and Lex, which is never explained how these fuckers know. But again, they're like, oh, it's the comics, so whatever. How they found out that information, they don't explore that. But for him to acknowledge that he has a parent just throws the whole Martha scene out of the fucking... It makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense, bruh. Also, they killed off fucking... I didn't even know this until watching the movie recently. The alternate cut. They killed off Jimmy Olsen. I'm like, Superman's best friend? You kill him off? In the most lamest way possible? Again. Jesus. Again and again. This Superman's just a brute. I can't with this movie, bro. The only reason it's not going F tier is because the action scenes are so good. And Ben Affleck is kind of carrying. I ain't gonna lie. He's kind of carrying this fucking movie, bro. But overall, this movie is just garbage. And Doomsday looks awful. Oh, and speaking of that, oh my goodness. Doomsday looks like a troll from fucking Lord of the Rings. Oh my goodness. What happened, bro? What happened? And then to make matters worse, they do the death of Superman. And that is when I was like, yeah, this universe is fucked. Because why would you do, Zack? Why would you do the fucking death of Superman early in the fucking film? In the film of a universe. Why would you do that? The most iconic Superman story of all time. In the second outing of Superman. You know, people like to always throw out and like to shit on Marvel for certain shit. You know, I can talk about Marvel's lame jokes or how like some their CG is pretty bad. But you know, there was multiple moments throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe where characters that I got to grow with and see them evolve made me cry. Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 made me more emotional and heartfelt than fucking Superman. Fucking Tony Stark, tin can. When we get to Infinity War or Endgame, when we get to that moment in Endgame when he dies, there was not a dry eye in that theater when that death hit. Even my friend, an old friend of mine, he is the most cynical motherfucker. Even this nigga got emotional. I didn't feel absolutely nothing when Superman died. Absolutely nothing. I was just more astounded of the movie for actually going there. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here, bro? So overall, miss me with this nonsense about this movie being a great movie. This is like obviously the most dumbest. This is not a good movie. The only reason, again, it's not in Hellfire. It's so close to Hellfire, but the only reason it's not is the ultimate cut actually redeems a lot of the story points of this movie. Well, other than that, this movie is fucking garbage. And at that moment, I'm like, fuck me. It can't get any worse. It can't get any worse. And then we get fucking David Ayer's Suicide Squad. The first Suicide Squad movie. I gotta say, this is F tier, burn it with fire. This is like, at this moment, I was like, just reboot this fuck. No, actually, I didn't say reboot this universe yet. This was like, what the fuck happened? Like, at this moment, the quality level started going down even worse. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? This movie, so, reminiscing a little bit about this movie, I remember I didn't watch this movie coming out day one because I was just like so burnt out of what the fuck I saw with Batman v Superman. So I didn't see it until like two weeks later. And I remember like this is the first time I ever did this shit. Like I had just got off the plane from the airport from Barbados. I went back to Barbados to visit some family and whatnot. And I was like, you know what? I got some time to kill. You know, let me just go to the movies and go watch the Suicide Squad. And it was 2 weeks later, so the movie theater was kind of empty. And I just remembered I was just sitting there watching that movie. And the first thing I noticed, and this is the first thing, and this is I gotta give this movie some credit. It taught me about movie editing and like how certain music in a movie can completely change the atmosphere of a film. Because the first 30 minutes of this movie is nothing but a fucking montage film mixed in with bad fucking music editing choices. Like, they have music in here that is going absolutely fuck all nowhere. It's like someone else completely directed this movie and completely did something with the music, but the music selection was just ass. So fucking garbage. So fucking garbage. Oh my goodness. But that being said, the rest of this movie is just ass. Like, this is like the only good thing I will say about this movie is Viola Davis as Amanda Waller and Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is like the standout star of this fucking film. Like, shout outs to Margot Robbie, bro. I'm not even gonna say shout outs to Will Smith. Will Smith is a complete waste in this film. He's just playing Will Smith, but those two are like the highlights. Margot Robbie and Viola Davis. Those motherfuckers are like sleepwalking through this role, and I don't blame them. But yeah, the rest of this movie is just ass. The whole premise of this movie about creating a task force, what would happen if like another Zod shows up? So we got to create a task force run by the government, secretly run by the government, to stop any supervillain is fucking ridiculous considering the power structure. You have a crazy lady with a bat, a guy who can shoot fire, a guy who throws boomerangs, and a guy who just shoots really well. By the way, they fuck up Deadshot. They don't even have him do any trick shots or anything what he's known for from the comics. He's just fuck all awful, bro. Like, this shit is just ass. Oh, and one girl with a fucking katana sword. And by the way, Katana, son, this movie has the worst fucking character introduction I've ever seen. And it's such a shame because I didn't even realize the actress who plays from The Boys, Karen Fujihara, I don't want to butcher the fucking girl's name, so I'm just going to put a picture on the screen. Y'all know who I'm talking about. From The Boys, like Kimiko, she plays Katana, and I had no fucking idea because she absolutely is fucking wasted in this film. All she just do is just stand there, slice a few people, and just stand there. You don't know why she's part of the team other than to be Rick Flagg's backup. or bodyguard, but it was kind of lame. And I was just like, why the fuck is she on the team? Like, completely a waste of time, completely a waste of that actress time. And the only reason I knew it was her is because of the fucking the extended cut actually has this more scenes, and there's one scene where she takes off her mask and talks to Harley. And I'm like, okay. I was like, wait, Kimiko? I was just so, yo, bruh. She's such a great actress, so to see her in this role is so fucking, it's asinine. That being said, everything else about this movie is just like ass. I guess the only other positive I would give for this movie is that the costume designs. I can see why this movie won an award for best makeup and costume design. Harley Quinn's design, costume, and Killer Croc, and even like Enchantress designs are really fucking good. Really fucking good. Everybody else's design is fucking trash. Or is boring, or is not memorable in the slightest. So again, this movie is just like a fucking whatever movie. It's just trash. Jared Leto fucking Joker is so on the nose, especially in the deleted scenes. It's ridiculous. Like, it's just black. Oh my goodness. And people's like, oh, he did such a great job in Zack Snyder's Josstice League. I'm like, bro, he's ass. He's so on the nose, and the tattoos are so fucking awful, especially the one on the top of his forehead. And again, I guess the another positive I give is, like, I like the gangster aesthetic that they got going on for this team, but overall, I just like, this movie's just whack, lame. You know, just garbage. Like, why did you even? A part of me is like, oh, I kind of want to know what the David Ayer cut is, but then a part of me is like, why? There's a better fucking Suicide Squad we're gonna talk about in a few. This movie's just garbage. Like, a lot of it is just them walking around. There's not that much chemistry with the cast, except with Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, and Will Smith, and that's because they worked on another previous movie together, so they have that chemistry. But everything else is garbage. I was like, this movie is fucking garbage, bro. Like, waste of time, waste of skin, and I could kind of see, like, the reason why I'm putting this so on the list is because you could clearly tell the studio interfered, because I remember the Comic-Con trailer being way more darker, and then when they showed it to the public again, it was all like trying to copy. It was just clearly Warner Brothers was trying to copy the success of Guardians of the Galaxy and what's the fuck you call the movie? Deadpool, but not understanding why those movies were such a big hit amongst people. This shit just felt like it was just thrown together. And I was just like, bruh, like, no. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. And at this point, I'm here like, well, the DCEU was kind of like at its fucking deathbed. Pull the plug. Pull that fucking plug. And then Wonder Woman comes out. And it blows my fucking butthole. And I was like, we're back, baby. Wonder Woman is pudding, baby. Wonder Woman is fucking pudding. It baffles me, and it's gonna break my heart as we're gonna get further along in this film. It breaks my heart when I gotta talk about Wonder Woman 1984, but the first Wonder Woman movie is, like, to me, one of the strongest DCEU movies, man. Like, easily in the top 5. Easily. Oh my goodness. This is a fucking banger. Alright, this is a fucking banger. Alright, I remember the opening night for this movie. I went to the opening night for this movie, and I remember I was sitting next to this husband and his husband and wife and this kid. I was sitting next to a kid, and I was like, oh fuck. You know, like, you sitting next to a kid and you're thinking, oh man, you know, this kid is gonna be like talking and screaming and whatnot. And I just remembered, and it was a girl. And I just remembered the no man's land scene. And me and this kid, I looked over to this kid, and it's a girl, mind you. And her face reaction and my face reaction watching the no man's land scene for the first time was extraordinary. We were like, go Diana, go. It was so magical. That opening night, and it was so much females that came out to that movie, was so peak. It was so good, man. This movie is like, what if we did Iron Man or Captain America? Or, yeah, this felt like, what if we did Captain America, but we made it fucking awesome? We made it peak. Like, this movie is fucking awesome. Like, just the way how the movie is shot, it looks gorgeous. The fucking acting is so good by Chris Pines and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot's actually fucking working overtime. Like, she ain't just take a paycheck, and she's just like fucking putting her all into this shit, man. And it helps because I think Chris Pine really helped, help her out in a lot of scenes. But man, like, it's such a good fucking movie. They do the fish out of water shit, and it's so like, it's like Thor, but it's so charming because Diana's so charming. Like, you can't help but root for Diana so much in this film. I think that's the positive I would say about this movie is Diana Prince is fucking awesome. Like, you couldn't tell me Gal Gadot was not Wonder Woman, bro, after this movie. I remember, like, I was like, Gal Gadot's the best. Like I was like, this woman's gonna go far. And fuck me, man. Like, just the action, the story, everything about this movie is firing at all cylinders. I was like, fuck yes. And when we get to do action scenes, they're pretty damn good. Again, I just talk about the no man's land scene, bro. That's one of the peakest moments in comic book history, bro. Like, it's peak, man. It may not be the best, but man, it is so good. They took the fucking Wonder Woman theme. Oh my god. And it's so corny in BVS, even though I like it. But in this movie, oh my goodness, bro. The fucking Wonder Woman theme is so good in this movie. Patty Jenkins cooked, bro. Patty Jenkins cooked, bro. Like, give her flowers, bro. Like, she cooks so much, man. Again, the jokes are on point. Everything about this movie is firing at all cylinders. It's going so great. And then you get to the third act, and this is where the movie falls. The third act is the only thing that holds this movie back from being, like, really honestly the fucking, like, peak comic book movie, man. But overall, man, it's so good, man. And again, I love the relationship between Chris Pine and Gal Gadot. I love that relationship. Like, I even love in the final battle where it was just like, oh man, like, he has to go and stop the bombs, and Diana's in daze, so she didn't get to hear what he said, and all hope is lost and whatnot. And then, like, she interprets, like, what he's saying. I love that idea near the end, that you don't really know if that's what really Steve Trevor said to her near the end, but because Diana has such a good heart and such a good soul, she's just like, I'm gonna try and honor his memory the best way I can, and I'm gonna stop you, Zeus. So good, so good. Oh, such good movie. Even though the third act is ass. Like, once they killed the main general dude, I was like, all right, time to wrap this movie up. Now we reveal, like, oh, to Diana, that, oh, like, you can't save the, like, you can't just kill one person and then everything's gonna just be fine, Diana. Like, I thought that was gonna be the message and the lesson that Diana had to learn. And then fucking Ares comes out and was like, wait, bitch. Wait, bitch. Wait, bitch. I'm actually controlling all the shit that's going on because I'm the god of war. I'm controlling everything. And yes, shit is crazy. all right, I'm controlling all this, so you gotta stop me. Again, the movie didn't need the third act. I think it falls apart with that third act fight. Even though I like the third act fight scene, I think it falls apart at that point. I was like, no, didn't need it. Everything else about this movie is fucking awesome. And I think I love about it so much is that they flip the comic book, the superhero like mantle on its head. Usually it's the hero teaching or teaching people how to be better, but it's us as people teaching Diana how to be a better person. I was like, bro, this movie's cooked. And I actually was like, in BVS, it made no sense why Diana wasn't protecting or saving anybody. In this movie, I could kind of understand. This movie made me understand like why Diana didn't want to participate or save anybody, because she's seen so much, and it was just like on her first outing she couldn't even save her boyfriend. So I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I don't agree with it, but I was like, okay, that makes sense. And so for me, Wonder Woman will always have a special place in my heart. This was the movie I was like, fuck yeah. And you know what's crazy about Wonder Woman in this movie? Wonder Woman acts more heroic and more hopeful and optimistic, way more than fucking Superman in this universe. That's insane to say that to me. That's insane, but it's the truth. Like, she's so fucking good in this film. Having said that, I have nothing more to really say about this movie. This movie is fucking brilliant. It's so good. So good. And then we get to the moment that kind of killed the DCEU for me, and was just like, all right, yeah, reboot this shit. Reboot this fucking franchise, all right? Fucking burn it in hellfire. I don't know why we didn't cancel this universe sooner. But as soon as we get to Josstice League, I was like, nope, burn this fucking movie. This shit getting a fucking F. F tier, burn it with fire. This is a fucking awful ass fucking movie. Where do I even begin? Alright, reminiscing a little bit again. It's like, I think I went... Okay, if I remember correctly, I think I saw this movie like in Manhattan. I actually remember now. I went to go see this movie with my cousin, with my male cousin. Me and him went to go see this fucking movie. And, he's loved all of these fucking DC movies. So I'm just kind of like, okay. Like, oh boy, here we go. What are we gonna do? Alright, how is this gonna end? I just remembered the scene where fucking Batman fucking gets thrown across the fucking stadium. And he literally makes a joke about like I'm gonna be bleeding out, or like I'm gonna feel that in the morning. I remember my fucking cousin getting up and just leaving theater. And I'm like, cuz, like, where did you go? He's like, this movie's ass. That was the funniest moment. I never seen him get out of a movie before. So to see him do that, it was so hilarious. He was like, they made Batman into a fucking joke. This is insulting to Batman. What the fuck? Oh man, this movie's fucking garbage. Where do I even begin? I guess I would say the behind the scenes of this movie and how this movie was created is way more fascinating than the actual film itself. Jesus, where do I begin? Like, honestly, I don't know what Warner Brothers was thinking making this only a 2-hour movie. I don't know what they were thinking not letting Snyder come back and not finishing the work. I don't know why the fuck would you have fucking Josh Whedon, of all people, come in and make a fucking course correction film. But here's where we're at, and this is the movie we got because of it. Why the fuck does this movie exist? I have no fucking idea. This movie's garbage. The only positive I will give this movie, and I mean this sincerely, is that I really, really like the way how Superman's portrayed in this film. He is way more hopeful and optimistic. He actually throws out some jokes. But everything else about this movie is ass. And it doesn't even feel like Snyder made this movie. I think this is the first movie, again, this is the first movie where I started noticing like problems in movies and started like really like becoming a film nerd, if that's even a thing. Like I started realizing, like you could clearly tell they made new scenes and they edited this fucking movie to all hell. This is a Frankenstein of a fucking movie, because there's literally scenes where you could clearly tell fucking Ben Affleck gained weight and lost weight. And I was like, what? Like you could clearly look at it and you're like, oh, you can see that he gained weight and lost weight. You could clearly tell what was reshot and redone, re-edited, and it's just horrible. Some of the like the fucking fights, like the argumental banter they have is fucking garbage. Like the whole should we resurrect Clark or not? That whole argument was stupid. The only funny part is fucking Flash saying like, hey, you know, Bruce, if she fucking murders you, you know we're gonna stand by you. Like, I actually laughed at that joke. Everything else just feels so uneven. This doesn't even feel like a fucking movie half of the time. Like literally, it feels like tone is completely different from the rest of the DCEU. Even Wonder Woman kind of aligns with the DCEU. Hell, I'll even say the Suicide Squad sometimes aligns with the DCEU. This movie felt like, who did it and fucking why, bruh? Like, it just feels like a Marvel film. And it's just like, no. And the thing that really just like bothered me about this film is that it didn't have that grand epic scale that I think even Man of Steel and even Batman v Superman had. It just felt like really low energy, low stakes, and I'm just like, this is lame. Steppenwolf's design is ass. This movie's just garbage, just fucking garbage, and I just genuinely don't like any of the jokes. I don't like a lot of things about this movie. What they do to my boy Cyborg is fucking weird as fuck. Like, one minute he's depressed and shit, and then out of nowhere he's just like cracking jokes and saying booyah. And it's almost like the writers was like, well, people like Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, so let's put booyah because everybody would know what he means by booyah. And it's just like insulting. It's just like, then they try to do like the whole like black and white like fucking pound shit with him and the Flash, and it's just like lame as fuck. Oh my goodness. Again, the best thing about this movie, I would honestly say, is the behind the scenes shit with, you know, Cyborg actor coming out and kind of exposing like Josh Whedon was like a piece of shit. And then like having Jason Momoa and fucking Gal Gadot kind of confirming it, and Walter Harada kind of like the head of like the DC films at the time, kind of like, oh well, we kind of didn't know about it even though he knew about it. Like the behind the scenes drama of this fucking film is way better than what the fuck they actually gave us. So with that being said, I fucking can't stand this movie. This movie is literally, I can understand why so many Snyder fans wanted to see the Snyder cut, because even I was like, bro, like this doesn't even feel like Snyder's work. Like they say I tried. There's one scene where he's like, where they're like, at the beginning of the film, it's like, I tried, when I was doing that montage, and my God, fuck me. It just doesn't work. And none of the jokes work, bro. Like, this movie's just garbage. We're moving on. Fuck this movie. Then we move on to my baby. I love this fucking movie to death, so we're gonna put it S tier. Aquaman. Aquaman. James Wong, the GOAT. We need more horror directors in comic book films because they know how to give us a unique and fun fucking movie, man. This movie's fucking awesome from beginning to end. And I remember the Comic-Con panel they had on Aquaman. And I remember Jason Momoa running down the fucking Hall H. And he's just fucking excited to be a part, to have his own movie finally. And, you know, one of the things that always stuck to me about this film was how much James Wan really added to this fucking film, and how much he said in interviews, like, the whole DCEU has always been grim and dark. And for his movie, he just wanted to make a fun space opera film, but in the ocean. And he fucking nailed it. All right, he nailed it on his first try, man. This movie is so fucking good. It don't need to be good, but it is so good. Fucking Aquaman is fucking good. And rewatching this movie, oh my goodness. The fucking opening scene with fucking Arthur's mom and his dad, they're getting together and loving each other and shit. But then the Atlanteans come in and shit, and the camera fucking the fucking fight choreography for that shit. The way how the camera's just spinning around in 360 and like fucking like she's taking out those guys. Like James Wan Cook, but that's not even the best fucking part. That's not even the coolest action scene or the best fucking scene in the movie. No. We're gonna get to there. But man, the camera work and just the way how like the world building and how Atlantics work. Beautiful. It looks so beautiful. I would almost say it's on the level of Wakanda. But because Wakanda, we spend more time with it. We spend more time on Wakanda. We don't really spend that much time in Atlantis. It's really fucking dope, bro. Really dope. This movie is unapologetic about what it is. It isn't afraid to embrace what it is, a comic book film. And that's why I love this film. Fucking Jason Momoa, you know, in this movie, you know, he's so good. Yeah, he's silly a little bit, and that's gonna get into a little negative, is that I don't feel like he's that much characterization. I don't feel like he's really like Arthur. However, how fucking ever, he's so much fun in the role, and he knows when to kind of ring it in and act that I didn't even fucking mind. He's so good. Amber Heard, you know, regardless how you feel about her now, you know, I thought she was really good as Mera. I love her dynamic with Aquaman. I think it's really, really, really what was missing of the second movie, which we're gonna get into. But her fucking like energy to Arthur was so good. Like it was so good. I never really bought that they loved each other. But the frenemies / fucking like brother and sister vibe they were giving to me was like the highlight. Like throughout the whole movie, she just sounds so fucking annoyed of Arthur's dumb shit, and it really was so good. I fucking love this movie. Fucking Ocean Master, bro. Like So good, so good. And I know that's the dude from the Conjuring movies. That's James Wan's boy. So I knew he was gonna bring it from Ocean Master. He's so good. Not my favorite DCEU villain. Again, you can't beat General Zod, but he's so good. One of the coolest thing I love about this movie as well is the music. And they do this little stinger with the villains. Like every time the villains would say something evil and cool and shit, the music would be like dun 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 dun. It's like evil dark music tone comes in. I was like, bro, this movie knows what the fuck it's about. It isn't trying to be this philosophical fucking debate of what happens if fucking Superman was actually in our real life. It isn't trying to be like that. It's just trying to be a fun summer blockbuster fucking event. And this is the reason why this movie it's the only DCEU movie, I believe, that got $1 billion. And you can clearly tell why, because the movie is just fun. And I remember watching this movie opening day when it came out, and it's fucking packed, and everyone, and even myself, walked out of the movie theater with a big smile on our face. So we were like, this is fucking awesome. This is fun. And again, this is Aquaman, the most silliest character a lot of people think of. When they think Aquaman, they think he's fucking lame. To walk out of it and it's the most funnest fucking movie, and we're going to different locations, and it feels like an Indiana Jones type of fucking movie. Bro, this movie is just cooked, bro. It's cooked. Fucking, I didn't even get to talk about fucking Black Manta. His fucking design, sick. Straight out of the fucking comic books. The costumes in this movie, straight out of the fucking comic books. I was like, my God, fuck yes. This is one thing I will give DC over Marvel, is their costumes for all these movies, regardless of how you feel about them, are fucking sick, man. And Arthur's suit, the final suit he gets, comic book accurate. And I fucking love it. Oh, the fight scenes, all the fight scenes are fucking awesome. All right, all the fight scenes are fucking awesome. Awesome. And they do the cool thing where it's just like, oh, well, you know, like in Batman v Superman, the shock waves, but they do it here, but with the impact of fucking the water and shit. It's so good. And again, James Wan is like in Batman, in fucking Josstice League, we're gonna have characters fucking like talk. The only way they could talk is in a bubble. Fucking my fucking boy James Wan's like, fuck all that nonsense. We're gonna have characters talk underwater, and you know what else they're gonna fucking do? They're gonna have their hair all CGI swooping and whopping and waving all around. Because fuck you, this is a comic book movie. And again, I love this movie because it just embraces what the fuck it is, and it is unapologetic a comic book film, and it knows that it is, and I'm so happy about that, man. I'm so happy about this fucking movie. I'm so happy that this movie exists, and I just had a blast with this movie. This was easily my favorite DCEU movie when it came out. I thought it was even better than Wonder Woman. I ain't gonna even fuck with y'all. Everything about this movie lined up. Everything about this movie was working for it. Mwah. Also, I've never seen a movie where the main villain or the side villain fucking is like have a suit montage or like a suit upgrade montage moment. Like, I never seen that shit before. But the simple fact that this movie did it, I was like, fuck yeah. Like that's fucking dope and different that I ain't never seen before. So that was fucking dope. Again, this movie is just amazing. Oh, and I didn't even get to talk about before we leave on out such a great note. I didn't even get to talk about the fucking scene. The scene that I'm just like, James Wan fucking cooked is when they was fighting the fucking on the boat, and they're fighting the trenches monsters, and they dive out of the fucking boat. They grab the lighters, and then they dive out of the fucking boat, and they're all getting swarmed in while Arthur and fucking Mera is going all the way down in the water. All you just see is a massive, massive wave of the trench monsters coming at them. But all you can see is the fucking lighter and Mera and fucking Aquaman going all the way down. That shot, James Wan fucking cooked. He cooked. Let him cook. Please, James Gunn, let James Wan come back for a DC film. He fucking cooked. That shot was fucking extraordinary. And they just keep going down all the way until and then you get the title screen in the far right corner. Oh, the kingdom of the trenches. And they just have to book it to the fucking out of the kingdom. And then there's like a big tornado shit that sucks them into a far distant fucking place. I was like, bro, James Wan fucking cooked, bro. He cooked. This movie's amazing. I'm sorry. I gotta glaze the movie. All right. Overall, this is a great movie. I gotta give it some props. I gotta give it some love. I love this movie. So, yeah, I guess this would be my favorite DCEU movie. Moving on, Shazam 1. I used to really love this movie. I actually had it at Puddin' before. I used to really love this movie. And then rewatching this movie, I kind of just don't fuck with this movie all too much. It's still a good movie, but I actually kind of drop it even lower. I like Man of Steel more than this movie. Some of the things, before I even begin, let me just talk about my theater or my reminiscing of this movie. I did not actually watch this movie in theaters. I actually saw it at home because I think I was sick when this movie came out and I just didn't have time, or I was busy with college stuff, so I couldn't really watch this movie when it came out in theaters. But then when it came on DVD, I actually did watch it. And I gotta say, my first time was watching it. I really enjoyed it. Now I'm just like, I think what hurt this movie a lot for me is that this is literally just Chronicles. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie. It's just Chronicles with superheroes. And I think Chronicles is just, again, based off of what that movie is, I think Chronicles is way more interesting. But one of the things I do like about this movie is how what they say about the foster system and how finding a fun family through the foster system and how the positive of a foster system can really be. I really, really, really like that idea. And I really love the whole idea of Billy trying to find his mom, and then, you get to the end of the film and, Billy, you find out about his mom and you're just like, fuck, like that is just sad and tragic. It almost was like, whoa, like why the fuck did Billy not become a villain by the end of this film? But overall, I just kind of was like, this movie's just okay. I think the jokes is what took me out of it. It's just a lot of humor, and I just wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the humor. It's just them dicking around with powers, and after a while, it just gets lame after a while. I do like the main villain, even though I forgot his name at the time of this recording, and I'm not looking it up. But I do like his connection with Billy. I feel like this is what Billy would have became if he didn't have the foster system and he didn't meet his newfound family. And yeah, I was just like, oh, this movie is like good, but I don't love it like that. I fucking love the twist, however, or the big reveal of the Shazam family, of him transferring his powers to the other kids. That was so good. I didn't think they were gonna do it for the first movie. Again, it's just like kind of like Aquaman, where it's just like, wow, like you guys threw everything at the kitchen sink. Like it felt like they knew like this probably be our only shot. So they just said, fuck it, just go hard as a motherfucker. But yeah, other than that, it's like, oh, and Megan Good. Oh my goodness, Megan Good is like one of the fucking Shazam family grown-up versions of the girl. Oh my goodness, Megan Good, my sweetheart. Anyway, other than that, I really wasn't. I'm not a huge like lover of this movie, but it is pretty good. It's not D tier. It's a fun ride, but it isn't like I didn't walk out of it like, fuck yeah, Shazam. Like, no, I was just kind of like, whatever. This is fun, cool. I think I would have loved it more if they didn't fuck us in the dick hole and not have Henry Cavill at the after credit scene or the final scene of the film. But you know, there is one joke, however, that always sticks in my mind in this film when I think of this film, is when fucking Shazam is like fucking fighting the main villain in the fucking in the sky, and the main villain is going on a huge ass monologue while they're floating in the air, and he's going on a fucking monologue, and Shazam is like, I can't fucking hear you, I don't have super hearing. Like, I always wonder like, when is a superhero movie ever gonna address that? So for this movie to address that is fucking hilarious to me. So overall, I thought this is a fine movie. It's no harm, it's not doing anything amazing, but it's also not offending me. So it's just like a fun ride. It's a fun ride, but it didn't really hit me. Now we get into a movie that is near. This movie has a special place in my heart, and I'm gonna go in a little tangent about it. But Birds of Prey and the one fabulous emancipation of the Harley Quinn, or Harley Quinn, whatever. Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn, or Harley Quinn the movie, whatever you want to do, whatever one you want to say. And I'm gonna put this on B tier. I really fucked with this movie hard, and I really have a soft spot for this movie a lot. Not only do I think, in my humble opinion, this is Margot Robbie's like fucking hit film. Like, to me, like this is like solidify her as like, yeah, she is Harley Quinn. But for me, this movie will always have a special place in my heart, because this will be the last fucking movie I went to go see in theaters before the pandemic happened. My boy Anik, shout outs to my boy Anik. He and me and him watched this movie together. And he's a huge DC fan. He knows so much about DC shit that it blows my mind. This is why I love watching DC films with him, because he educates me on DC shit that not even I know sometimes. And me and him watched this movie, and we really liked it. I remember walking out of that theater, and we were like, wow, this is really good. But we were both confused. I remember walking out, and we were like kind of confused of like, how is this really Birds of Prey? But yeah, and then as soon as I watched this movie, literally a month later, the pandemic happened. So it was like so sad that this was the last film I would see in the theater. But the reason I like this movie a lot over, Man of Steel and Shazam, honestly, it's more of a personal reason. Like, this movie is really honestly about Harley Quinn getting over the breakup. I think this is the perfect breakup / like Valentine's Day movie to watch, because it's really just a breakup movie and Harley Quinn trying to find herself again after a breakup. And for me personally, I can relate to that. I've been where Harley's been, where it's just like you put your heart into like a relationship and everything to a relationship and it just like it falls apart and it didn't work out, and you're kind of like left trying to pick yourself back up or pick up the pieces, and you're trying to, you know, rediscover yourself, redefine yourself. And I can relate to that. It isn't as bombastic as my shit is not as bombastic as hers, but it was like I felt like there was a Kendrick spirit between me and Harley in this film, so I completely loved this movie. For that reason, again, Margot Robbie is killing it in this film, but also I really love Ian McGregor, fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi is Black Mass. Oh my goodness, he's so much fun in this role. And again, the whole cast is pretty much really good. Having said all of that, the biggest positive and the biggest negative I have is this movie is that this movie is so feminine. So feminine. I mean that in all the positive ways, and I mean that in all the negative ways. So for this movie, when I say that it's so feminine, the fucking like so much of like what this movie talks about and everything, like you could clearly tell a woman directed this film because how certain shots are done, like the fucking police takeover place where they go to the where Harley goes to the police station is so fucking awesome, and how that shot of her coming out of the smoke is so even though that whole sequence don't make no fucking sense based off of what my cousin, who is a cop, explained, that shit makes no sense. But the scene is so shot. The fucking like how the movie like cinematography and how it's the shots. Oh my god, there's one shot in this movie where Harley is going into the police office and the camera is just focused on Harley's shoes, but it never glorifies or over sexualizes Harley in any way. And that goes for all the ladies. The costumes, I feel like the costumes and how characters look in this film are very much in the style of like, oh, any girl can wear these outfits. And overall, you know, I just like a lot of the things that this movie talks about is very like more catered towards women, you know, and I appreciate that. The fight scene, the fight choreography, so good. I know they brung in like the director of John Wick, who also like is a fight choreographer, to come in and help with the fight scenes, and they're really good for that. You know, it really is good. It could use a little bit more work, and I wish he had came on at the beginning. He came out at the last second to help out with the fight scene, but it's really good. But yeah, I think my biggest issue is again it's the feminine energy in this film sometimes gets in between it, because again, like the costumes, while I get what they're going for, I really don't like the designs of I hate the costumes, if I'm being honest. I hate how Black Canary looks. Harley is like whatever. Everybody else is not even wearing costumes. They're kind of just wearing, again, traditional get-ups. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I really love Huntress outfit. I love Huntress in this film. Another issue I had is the fucking when it comes down to the feminine parts of this film, it's the fucking, oh my goodness, it's the fucking characterization of Black Mass. Like Ian McGregor plays him so much like flamboyant, and I don't like that at all. I don't like that Victor Zsasz is flamboyant and it's kind of implied that they're gay together. I don't like that, and I don't like that they killed off Black Mass. That was so fucking, I literally was like, what the fuck? But yeah, it's just like so much again, it's like it's really hard to talk about this movie because it's like on the one hand, the feminine energy is so good. It makes the movie stand out and really good. But then it's like some choices it makes with it. It's just like, no, fuck. So no, I also hate Cassandra Cain's character. Like again, I'm so used to Cassandra Cain from the comics, so I don't know what the fuck were they thinking with this fucking bullshit. But her character is so lame compared to her comic book counterpart, and I don't know. I guess they were trying to diversify the lineup, but I think Cassandra Cain was the worst call, man. And I love me some Cassandra Cain. I'm not the hugest Cassandra Cain fan, and I know they're kind of like, well, we kind of like we didn't want to do Barbara Gordon because she's the original member of the Birds of Prey. So here's a bad character, and she's just like, or whatever character. I think my negative about this movie is that near the end, I never really felt like the Birds of Prey team came together. Like, I never felt like fuck yeah, like the team came together and they're kicking ass together. They're fucking awesome. I didn't feel that near the end of the film. I didn't really feel that. Again, the whole movie is so focused on Harley, which is, again, another negative and a criticism I have of this film is that the movie's so focused on Harley that the Birds of Prey kind of feel like a footnote in this film, and I'm just kind of like, why would you call this shit Birds of Prey if it wasn't a Birds of Prey movie? Because it really isn't a Birds of Prey movie. It's a Harley Quinn film. So again, I don't know what, and again, the marketing for this movie was so bad that halfway through, I remember they had to change it to Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. And I was like, bro, like, you gotta be kidding me, bro. Like, this should have never been called Birds of Prey. But other than that, this movie speaks to me. I like it a lot. It's not the best DCEU movie, but it is a movie that speaks to me. Like, it's a movie I still think about sometime. And, you know, it would have been nice to see, instead of a Birds of Prey movie, the sequel could have been about Gotham City Siren, when it was just Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Harley just fucking around. But instead they chose to do Birds of Prey, or, you know. So, it is what it is, but I really love this movie. I think it will always have a special place in my house. Of my heart. So flowers, throw flowers at Birds of Prey. It's such a fun movie. And then, oh, all right. So I just realized what's the next movie on the list, and oh boy, this is. I gotta pull out the fucking water. Give me 1 second. Wonder Woman, 1984. Ah. This movie breaks my heart. I feel like I just feel like that meme of that kid holding the fucking gun is just like crying. Or the cameraman that's like crying and shit. I fucking can't believe the same team that made this movie made the first Wonder Woman movie. Oh boy, where do I begin? Alright, so this is around the time when the pandemic was at a height, so we couldn't go to the movies. So they did the weirdest thing, which is like, hey, instead of going to the movies, let's just put all of our films on HBO Max. So it was day and date on HBO Max, and I'm like, bro, this is not it. Someone please shoot that motherfucker. Like, bro, I remember because me and my mom had also watched the first Wonder Woman movie together, and my mom is very much a stickler for the Linda Carter Wonder Woman. Like, she loves Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. So it took a lot to convince her to even watch the Wonder Woman movie. And then she walked out of it and was like very impressed. She was like, this Gal Gadot woman. Gal Gadot. She's okay. She's no Linda Carter, but she's good. And so watching the sequel, me and her both watched the sequel, and in the first fucking hour or some change into the film, 30 minutes in, she fell asleep. And I was like, oh no. This is how I knew the movie was not good. Because if my mom falls asleep on a movie, that means the movie's not good. But fuck me, this movie's garbage. I hate this fucking movie. Where do I begin? So, the only positive I would give this movie, and I'm going to be very sincere about this movie, is Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is killing it. I think he does a phenomenal job as Maxwell Lord. I love that he's trying to be this tycoon, down on his luck tycoon guy who's like scheming his way to the top. I like that. I think Pedro Pascal kills it. He's the only one putting in fucking effort in this movie, to be honest. He's the only one came to work today. I like the armor Wonder Woman gets, even though it gets destroyed very easily. I like the dynamic or the idea or the one scene where Chris Pine's character they do the reverse where instead in the first Wonder Woman movie, Diana is being shown the world to Steve Trevor is showing Diana the world, and this time like Diana is showing Steve Trevor what the world has become ever since he's made that noble sacrifice. And I actually thought that was very beautiful. That is the only genuine sweet spot of this movie that I genuinely said that was an actual nice scene. And that is all I'm going to say about Wonder Woman 1984. That is the only good thing I will say about 1984. Everything else about this movie fucking sucks. And I have huge beefs with this fucking film. So I'm actually going to put it even lower than what the fuck I had it as. Because I have huge beef with this movie. For one, the magic MacGuffin wish and rock stone shit. First of all, I think that shit is not interesting for a comic book, big blockbuster comic book film. I just don't think that is very interesting. And I would have and if I was working at Warner Brothers, I would have shut that down completely and say, you got to rewrite the script. This is lame. And even then, I think this shit is so convoluted. The Rock is so not playing by the rules halfway through the film that it's just super convoluted. 1 minute, The Rock is making wishes for people and whatnot, and then out of nowhere, the rules don't fucking apply at moments where you can kind of break the rules. And like you could wish for this shit, or you could stack up for this wish, and you could give wish to this other person. And it just makes absolutely no fucking sense by the end of the film. I was just like, yo, this wish and rock shit is just like fucking stupid by the end. So I hated the wish and rock aspect of this film. I hate with a burning fucking passion what they do with Wonder Woman and Minerva, aka Cheetah's relationship. Cheetah is like literally I would argue, is literally the Joker to Wonder Woman. And as someone who actually read a few Wonder Woman comics, in particular the Rebirth line of her books, I don't fucking like how they handled this relationship. To me, honestly, this should have been a focal point of like showing their relationship and seeing it deteriorate deteriorate into this bitter rivalry that they have, or this bittersweet rivalry, and the movie doesn't go for that. The whole movie, they talk for a little bit, but I don't really feel the sisterhood or the bond that they should have. So by the end, when Minerva is telling like Diana, oh, you should have gave up your wish and shit. And I'm like, you're being selfish, Diana. I'm kind of like, yeah, but I don't really feel the connection. Like, I don't feel bad that fucking Cheetah becomes the Cheetah, because they don't really dive into that. And the comics is so, or at least in the Rebirth line in the comics, man, like there's that one great scene in the comics where they're just sitting down, just like talking, and you can feel like in Diana, like this was her best friend at one point, and they just had a falling out, and it was a nasty falling out. I was looking for that Professor Xavier Magneto type of relationship where it was just like good friends that eventually had a falling out, or like Megatron and Optimus from Transformers 1, which is a shame that movie's not gonna get a fucking sequel, but whatever. Just everything about this movie didn't really do that, and so it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. I'm not a huge fan of that bullshit. And another thing I fucking can't stand, and this is what really pissed me off about this fucking movie. Like now you really about to see me be fucking angry. I'm gonna be an angry fucking black man. The most ghettoest fucking black man. I fucking can't stand what they do with Diana in this fucking film. I get it in the first film. She's really upset by the end that Steve Trevor died, and that her friends are dead at the beginning of this film. But the simple fact that she never goes out and find a new partner, never finds new love, new happiness, new nothing, is bullshit. It's bullshit, and I feel like that's not Diana at all. Not my Diana. All right. I also hate how they do the Chris Pratt shit again. I mean, the Chris Pratt shit again. And he's in the film, and instead of just doing what I think they should have just did, would just be like, hey, you know, it's just the body of Steve Trevor. They decided, oh, let's have his body possess somebody else's body. And the whole time Diana's sleeping with this man doesn't know anything, and Diana willfully is like, oh no, it's completely fine. Like I know, like, you're probably some other dude, but you're like Steve Trevor to me, so it don't matter. To me, that is the most fucking insulting thing you can do to Diana Prince. That is the most heinous shit you could do to Wonder Woman. Heinous bullshit. I can't stand that aspect of this film. That basically Diana is a sexual assaulter. I don't like that. And before anybody comes at me in the comment section and tries to defend this bullshit, let me make something very fucking clear. Let me make something very, very fucking clear. If this was a man, and the roles was reversed, and a man did this shit, we would have a fucking outroar in the fucking community about this film. But because it's Diana and it's a woman that does this shit, it is completely fucking fine. I don't like that shit. I don't fuck with that shit. That is not fucking what you're supposed to be showing for these legendary comic book characters. Again, how do we go from one of the coolest comic book movies where this little girl is sitting next to me, literally praising and happy to see Wonder Woman on the big screen, feeling representation like that, to now go from Wonder Woman is a fucking sexual assaulter. I don't know who the fuck at Warner Brothers, Patty Jenkins, the writers, anybody thought this was a good idea, but you guys need to get the fuck out, all right? And this is why I'm so happy fucking James Gunn said, nah, you're not getting another shot with Wonder Woman. To display that on the fucking big screen like that, or on a film, is fucking garbage. So don't come at me with that bullshit of that it's fucking cool. Again, people don't understand why I'm so angry about this. Because these are DC fucking heroes. These isn't Marvel characters, bro. You could get away with certain shit. And even then, there's certain Marvel characters I don't play that shit with. With Wonder Woman, she is the superhero. With Batman, he is the superhero. With Superman, is the superhero. I don't want to see no bullshit of my heroes being these fucking jaded people or a fucking sexual assaulter. The simple fact that they let that slide is crazy to me. And the simple fact that the movie tries to make it out like, oh, well, the guy liked her, so it's okay. Bullshit. Bullshit, and you fucking know it. It's bullshit. That wasn't good, and it was garbage. Not only that, but this movie also has fucking continuity errors. Again, the rest of the DCEU movies, I just gotta be honest, they just throw shit at the wall. Almost reminds me of modern Marvel movies, where they're just throwing shit at the wall. But the continuity errors in this movie is really weird. Like, she knows how to turn shit invisible, but she never did it in Batman v Superman. She can fly, but she never did it in Batman v Superman. She does a super jump. I know, I watched the movie fucking twice. She does a super jump. She doesn't fly. Superman flies, and they never do it again. So, what the fuck are we talking about here? So there's tons of continuity errors in this movie. So that don't make no fucking sense. This whole idea near the end of the film about like, oh, you gotta live in the truth, and that, you know, the truth will set you free. You can't live in a lie. And they play Beautiful Lie, Batman's theme, in this film. I'm like, bro, fuck off. Fuck off. That ending is ass, and then they want you to sympathize. Oh, sympathize with Max Warlord near the end. He just wanted to make it big. He just wanted to support his kid. Fuck off. Fuck that bullshit, man. Fuck that bullshit. Also, Cheetah's design looks fucking awful. The CG is awful. And I think I would have let all this shit slide. I would have let all this bullshit slide if we had good fight scenes. If we had good fucking fight scenes, I would have let all this bullshit slide. But the fight scenes are even worse. I don't mind that they even go with the 80s aesthetic, even though there's barely any 80s stuff in this film. But fuck me, fuck this movie, man. I cannot stand this movie. The only reason this movie is not lower on the list is because you could clearly tell fucking with fucking Josstice League Studios meddled with this film. Patty Jenkins had full control of this film. And, you know, with David Ayer's Suicide Squad, actually, no. You know what? No. With David Ayer's Suicide Squad, he had meddling with his film too. So, again, I can't. The only reason those are like lower on the list because studios did meddle with those films a lot to the point where the directors had no say in anything. But Patty had all the say in this movie, and it still came out like this. And again, that after credit scene, bro. It's funny how my mom woke up on the movie literally at the after credit scene and she applauded. I was like, bro, what the fuck, bro? I was so pissed with this movie. So fuck this movie. I never want to see this movie ever again. And then fucking Snyder fans got what they wanted. They fought tooth and nails for this, or better yet, Warner Brothers was so fucking broke and needed to put anything on HBO Max that they were just like, you know what, fuck it. We're just gonna call up Snyder and be like, yo, can you just finish the fucking Justice League movie? And he did, and I gotta say, he made a banging ass movie. Alright. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The Snyder cut is really fucking good. Alright, it's really that banging. I would honestly, I still like Man of Steel more, and that's because we're gonna get into the negatives of Zack Snyder's Justice League. But fuck me, man, this shit was so fucking good, man. Again, I gotta hand it to the Snyder fans, the actual Snyder fans that actually fought tooth and nail and wasn't harassing people or being assholes. He cooked with this fucking film. Not only would I say this is a great movie to watch if you are looking into getting into film, but I would say this is just a banging ass film. This film has the epicness and the big scope that I was hoping a Justice League movie would have, and it has it so much on tenfold. The positives. Fucking Cyborg is so good in this. Bored Life is fucking, we in there. Well, we would have been in there if shit didn't play out how it played out, but Cyborg in this movie is fucking awesome. He goes from this character that has a bunch of hatred and a bunch of anger towards his father for what his father did to him, to eventually understanding and appreciating what his father did and loving his father is so good. So good. The Flash has arguably one of my favorite Flash fucking moments ever. Thank you, James Gunn. I mean, no, not James Gunn, my fault. Zack Snyder for giving us one of the fucking best Flash moment, bro. When he rewinds time, he vibrates through the fuck, bro. This scene, I gotta talk about this scene. As a Flash fan, they did my boy justice. Not only is he toned down way more in this film, but fuck me, does he give one of the best fucking moments in the fucking film. My man, at the end, shit popped off. Everyone's dead at this point. My boy fucking Flash vibrates through the fucking explosion, heals his wound, and he's like, Barry, you gotta go fast as the speed of life, and you never broke the sound barrier, but you gotta go as fast as you ever been gone fast before. And that silly ass run, and I hate the run for Flash. Not a huge fan of the Flash run, but in this fucking moment, I remember seeing that shit. I remember, bro. I wish I could see this fucking film in the big screen so I could just see that moment in 4K IMAX. When this motherfucker fucking runs in the Speed Force and it's every step he takes is reversing time, and the particle effects and everything's coming back. Oh my goodness, Zack. And the music, and he's like, you know, Dad, I want you to know I was the best of the best, and you know, your son was one of the best of the best and shit. Oh my goodness. And again, the score is going hard as a fuck, and I'm levitating at this point. I'm like, this is fucking peak. All right, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Like, this Snyder cooked, bro. Again, he cooked, man. He cooked. All right, Steppenwolf so much better. And honestly, I actually felt so bad for Steppenwolf in this movie because of what Zack changed his design, or this was the original design for him, and his eyes when he hears the news, like, can I come home? And they're like, no, motherfucker, you still have like 5,000 worlds to give us. And his face that he makes, he looks so sad and depressed. I was like, oh, he looks so cute. Oh my goodness. But it helped, man. It helped. It made me really like Steppenwolf as villain. This motherfucker was just crushing now. I love his fucking spiky armor. Oh my goodness. This movie is just like everything of how to show like how changing the tone and also the changing of a music or anything can completely make a film feel completely different. Like the Wonder Woman theme, they have a new Wonder Woman theme for this movie. Holy shit. At first it starts off really good, but then later on in the film, it gets kind of annoying, but it's so good. I was like, oh Lord. Every time I heard that shit, I was like, bro, Wonder Woman's about to fuck shit up. Oh my goodness. This movie was a fucking banger. However, the reason why it's so low on my list is honestly at this point, again, characterization, I don't love what they do with Superman. And this movie is 4 hours long and they still don't do anything good with Superman in this film. I fucking can't stand Darkseid in this fucking film. Even though the vision sequence that they had was fucking dope, and I was like, holy shit, that's actually dope. The flashbacks, I'm like, wait a fucking minute. So this man gets beat. He gets his ass beat, and the fucking, you mean to tell me he forgot? He forgot where the fucking where the fucking shit is? He forgot? He just forgot? He forgot where the anti-life equation is? Okay, Zack. That doesn't make any fucking sense, but okay. And again, before Snyder fans explain it, I know he explained it in an interview that, Darkseid had to get back on the throne and whatnot, and he was kicked off of the throne, and he had to work his way back up. That should have all been explained in the fucking film. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Again, this movie is 4 hours long. I never want to watch this movie again. All right, this was fucking torture to get through. It was so fun, but I won't lie. It is like 4 hour long movie. It ain't it. You know, I think 3 hours is the bare minimum, but 4 hours, and a lot of the 4 hours is because of the slow-mo that he added in, which again, it did lead to one cool slow-mo like fucking moment, but man, I couldn't fucking care less about this movie being 4 hours. This movie needed to be cut down, trimmed. But again, this was made for the Snyder fans, so there's that. Everything else about this movie, again, characterization is just like certain characters. I'm just like, by now I'm just kind of like, I'm not a huge fan. Oh, fucking Martian Manhunter, by the way, is fucking trash. That scene with Martian Manhunter was so trash. Like, I love Martha Kent coming to Lois and telling her like, you need to get back on the ship, and like you need to get back reporting, and like the people need you and whatnot, and like inspiring her, and also saying like, you know, nobody really knew Clark, but you knew him and you need to honor his memory. And I'm just like, oh, that's such a great moment. And then it's ruined by the Martian Manhunter reveal. And I'm just kind of like, Martian Manhunter has been in all these fucking movies and he did not do anything. This motherfucker knew about the Steppenwolf shit. Didn't do anything. That's just dumb. Anyway, I really would say this was really dope. Now, if you had to ask me, should they have continued the Snyder universe or Snyder shit with hashtag restore the Snyderverse, I gotta be honest, I would say no. And the reason I say no It's not in the ways how you think. As much as I really like this movie, I think you really couldn't continue this shit. Not only did half of the actors, even though it was cool that they got all the actors back for this shit, some actors are just so fucking gone and has admitted they don't want to do this shit anymore that it's too late. Like Henry Cavill, he's gone. You know, fucking Ezra Miller, he's gone. How are you even going to continue without Ezra? Ben Affleck has gone on tons of records saying that he's done with doing like big blockbuster Hollywood films. He'd rather just do like indie films and whatnot. And Cyborg actor is literally fucked his career. And is only getting, at least from what I've noticed, he's only getting work from Snyder. So, again, like, why would we continue this? Now, would I love to see it continue in some other format? Yeah, like a TV, like a cartoon, theatrical little movie. It would have been nice to see that continue. It would have been nice to see it continue in a comic book. But overall, I just think it's just time to move on, to be honest. This was a cool thing, and I'm glad that they was able to do it, but yeah, I'm glad that we're just kind of moving on from this. You know, and if they did continue it and somehow, I would like it to be like a what if situation or like a alternate timeline shit, alternate universe type shit. But they're not gonna do that, and I just think it's best for what the best thing for the Snyder fans could do is just move on. You know, move on, support Zack's other adventures, and you know, that's the only thing you can do. Stop asking for the Snyder Cut, stop asking to restore the Snyderverse, and just move on and watch something else or follow what Snyder's doing. Simple as that. Moving on, we get into my boy James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, the superior Suicide Squad movie. And I love this movie a lot, so we're gonna put it on the number one. That's my favorite DCEU movie. My number one favorite DCEU movie. We're gonna make this one very short. It's James Gunn. He's off the chains of Marvel, so he don't have to fucking like make it kid friendly or whatever. And because of that, he goes balls to the wall insane. This movie is fucking awesome. All right. From the opening of this movie, ballsy move for him to kill off like half of the fucking Suicide Squad team. Even fucking Boomerang, Captain Boomerang kills him off. And man, James Gunn is just like beautiful at like taking characters that are like these C-list, maybe D-list characters and making you love and root for them. If you had told me Polka Dot Man would have me feeling some type of way when he died, I would have been like, I would look at you like you fucking stupid. If you had told me Ratcatcher 2 would have had me like getting emotional, bro, like I would have told you crazy. If you had told me that the team fucking Peacemaker was gonna be a huge hit character, I would have told you crazy. This man cooked. This fucking man, James Gunn, he cooked, man. And again, he's off the chain and he gets to go bond. He gets to play in the DC sandbox and he's having a fucking ball playing it. I could see after this movie, they were like, do you kind of want to take over as the head of DC? Because he knows these characters, he knows how to have fun. And he's going to take obscure characters and make them kind of cool. Like, I fucking love what James Gunn does with Starro. I felt so bad for Starro, but also Starro is so creepy. I was like, I didn't even think about it, how creepy he is. I was like, what the fuck? like when the fucking starfish sticks on your face and like you try to pull it off, it tears off your whole face. I was like, bro, that's actually kind of cool and scary at the same time. But man, this movie is just really fucking dope. I really want to give James Gunn nothing but the fucking love and respect he deserves. This is a fucking awesome ass movie. I don't have anything to really say. The only negative I have is I don't really like what he does with Amanda Waller near the end, where she gets bonked on the head and like there's no lick back. She don't get no lick back, and the closest lick back she does is like put the people who hurt her on the fucking Peacemaker team, and I'm just like, that's lame. Other than that, this movie is just like so good. And how is it that Idris Elba is acting more like Deadshot than fucking Deadshot Will Smith? But it is what it is. I fucking love one scene. I will say I fucking love Harley's fight scene is so good with the music and everything, and then later on they start having cartoon characters come out with the effects and shit. I fucking love. Another thing I'll say I love about this movie is Ratcatcher 2 with the fucking baptism, or should I say the ratism. It's so good. Again, the bond that the characters have with each other is so good. So overall, this is this amazing movie. I really like it. It's such a good movie, and it's peak fucking DC, man. So glad we have James Gunn. And then we have Peacemaker, and I gotta be honest, I don't love this show as much as everybody else. I remember watching Peacemaker, and I was just like, after I finished it, I was like, oh, this is okay. It's okay. But yeah, I don't really love Peacemaker like that, but it's really fucking hilarious. It has the most innovative, it has the coolest opening to a fucking show ever. The dance sequence, that was actually pretty fucking dope. And I think to me what holds this show back, but I still like it, really just the whole premise of another invasion. You know, even my friends was saying like, oh, we went through like another one of the invasion type stuff. But John Cena is so good in the role. The whole cast is so good. Vigilante's fucking hilarious and great. Like, so much of this movie is this show is so good. And this is like James Gunn's first time doing a show, and it's like really fucking good. I was like, holy shit, like this brother cooked. So overall, I really, really enjoyed that. And I will say, you know, I really was impressed by this show, but I don't think I have that much to offer on this. It isn't like you fucking like the Suicide Squad, where it's like, even like reminiscing about Suicide Squad, to go back to Suicide Squad a little bit, like me and my friends were all, my friends was like going over to one of my friends' house to watch this fucking movie, and we were all trying to figure out what to watch, and like I was just like, well, let's just watch the Suicide Squad, and we end up loving it. This one, I was like, we did the same thing. I was just like, I remember just watching Peacemaker, and I was just like, oh, this is all right. But everybody else loved it, but I was just like, oh, this is all right. But yeah, Peacemaker, fucking awesome. John Cena kills it. Everybody's fucking awesome. This movie's fucking hilarious. I mean, the show's fucking hilarious. And this is the first DCEU show, so congrats on that. And then, without further ado, we gotta talk about the movie that literally set the fucking... This movie practically ended the fucking... changed the hierarchy, I should say, of the DCEU forever. And I don't think Rock really meant what he said. But man, it really did change the hierarchy. Who would have thought Black Adam would have changed the whole DCEU after this? It's crazy. Black Adam, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is a fucking D. It's just honestly a generic movie. I don't know how anybody can say this is a great movie. I don't understand how anybody like fucking Top Films can say this is a great movie when this is literally having the same issues that the Marvel movie has, where sometimes it's just like it goes absolutely nowhere. It's slop. It's not interesting. It's not fun. At least with Batman v Superman, you know, at least with that movie, it's so, you know, I disagree with so much of that movie and I don't like it. But at least with Batman v Superman, the fight scenes are good and Ben Affleck's performance is so good. Black Adam, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is just not even trying, bro. And this is supposedly supposed to be a passion character he was passionate about for doing for years. I remember as a kid hearing him keep talking about he wanted to do Black Adam, Black Adam, Black Adam. And I always said to myself as a kid, like, what is it about Black Adam that he wanted to do? And I never, even after watching this movie, I never got the fascination of him in Black Adam. Because nothing about this movie is all that interesting. First of all, this movie has some of the most generic shit a superhero movie could have. The whole movie is basically trying to debate, should we kill our villains or not? And it's like, who gives a fuck? I will say, fucking the CG is pretty good, I guess. And I will say, you know, the Josstice Society is the only interesting thing I like about this movie, if I'm gonna be honest. They're more interesting because I like the idea that there's a new school, old school approach to these characters. You have Dr. Fate and Aquaman tag teaming together. And you have the new kids like Cyclone and fucking Atom Smasher both fucking like tag teaming together. And their dynamic is actually kind of interesting. So I'm like, oh, could we just get a movie about them? Like, I kind of like the idea that it's the old school versus the new school, and they all have different ways of looking at things, looking at situations differently. I wish the movie explored that more, but again, it's about Black Adam, so it is what it is. Again, just paid by numbers. This movie is just slop. And I remember watching this movie, to go on a little tangent a little bit. I remember watching this movie with my homeboy, Anik again. Shout outs to Anik one more time, bro. Like, Jesus. And I remember me and him, like, people was applauding and was like hype as fuck for this movie. And me and him, when we finished watching the movie, it was like, this shit is fucking mid. It was like mid. This is like, felt like watching a Marvel movie, a mid-ass Marvel movie. It didn't really do anything special. Nothing really stands out. The CG's good. And the lighting, I guess, is all good. But I'm like, nothing about Black Adam really hooked me. His character is like whatever, and the final fight is fucking garbage. And yeah, like, he didn't even want to sit on the throne near the end and take over Kahndaq, which is what he does in the comics. So again, I think that's stupid and I think that's silly. The only thing this movie got really going for it for me is the Josstice League, the Justice Society of America team. And that's about it. Oh, and the after credit scene that completely fucking hurt this movie. The only thing that this movie was banking on was the after credit scene where we had Superman pull up, and it was Henry Cavill's Superman. And I just remembered the theater, and even myself, me and my friend, we actually smiled. We were fucking hyped for that moment too. We was like, he's back. Holy shit. They actually got him back for this. And this was what the movie was banking on. But I remember I remember when I finally got home and I texted my homeboy, I was like, yo, bro, like, don't you think it's kind of weird how like that after credit scene happened? And, you know, they haven't really announced a movie or anything. And then Henry Cavill got online and was like confirmed that he was coming back in the role as Superman. And we were all excited, but something in my mind, I was like, are we getting a Man of Steel 2? And then as soon as that happened, like literally, I think a week later, James Gunn is announced as going to be taking over the fucking DC from here on in. And I'm like, so what's the fucking point of this movie? So this is why it's also at D tier, why it's so low on the list. Because it's not a bad movie, but man, you could tell Dwayne Rock Johnson, this motherfucker was just in it for the thrills. He didn't really care about these characters. He just was in it to like boost his fucking ego. Which it is what it is. This was just an ego booster, and I ain't with this. I ain't with it. It was whatever. It was whatever to me. So with that being said, we're just gonna move on from this movie. But yeah, I did not enjoy this movie at all. I guess the final thing, and I guess this is the moment where the DC kind of died. This movie will always have a special place because this movie literally is hilarious. Before we move on, I want to add on something. Like, this movie's fucking hilarious the more I think about it, because it's like, man, this man fucking Rock really thought he was going to take over the DCEU. I'm dying. The ship is burning, is on fire, the shit is fucking melting, and he really thought it was going to take over it. So for that reason, I will always laugh at this movie. But I do think it's not a horrible movie. I just think it's bland. So it is what it is. Moving on, and this is around this time where DC kind of just gave up. And so because DC gave up, it really just felt like everybody was like, yeah, we don't give a fuck anymore. So for me, let's talk about Shazam Fury for the Gods. I'm gonna put it D tier as well. If I thought the first Shazam movie was just pretty okay, by the books, fun and whatnot, this movie felt like it's all over the place. And it didn't help that they have like the three sister god characters, villains, new to the movie. They didn't even take it from the comics. And they're played by incredibly good actress. And I'm just kind of like, wait a minute. Why didn't y'all use his Black Adam and tie it into Black Adam? And they didn't do that because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson didn't want to do that. So Shazam Fury of the God got fucked over. And so they had to come up with villains for this movie. And the villains are just absolutely one note or whatever. As for the rest of the movie, I like the premise that Billy is kind of suffering from like abandonment issues. Like, he's trying so hard to keep the family together because they're all kind of drifting and doing their own thing, and also they're all getting older, so they're all kind of drifting and everything. And he's kind of like feeling like lonely, or feeling like he's gonna lose them. And I found that very fascinating, and I thought that part of the film was interesting. There is a semi-subplot with him and his foster mom, him not calling his foster mom, which goes absolutely nowhere. I wish they explored that. But again, Billy's arc, I like a little bit. But overall of this film, I just felt like this film was just like everybody just threw their hands up in the air and was just like, yeah, we gave it. This was really the time when DC was just like, yeah, we're done with this universe. We're wrapping these few movies up and we're moving on. And I just felt like the director didn't give a fuck at this point. It's not a bad movie, even though it is pretty bad. It's just nothing to it. How you have Lucy Liu and she's kind of a lame ass villain, bro. Like nothing about this movie is all that interesting. But it's fine. It's just passable. You barely pass. I would honestly say I'd rather take this. Actually, no, I can't because Black Adam is just so hilarious that I actually will put it a little higher. But man, like this movie is fucking like garbage. It's like a whatever film. But yeah, we're just gonna move on. And this next movie fucking pains me to put on this list. Pains me to even have to speak this movie's name. But I'm gonna fucking put The Flash. And oh boy, you can ask my boy Anik about this shit, bro. We went to go see this opening day. And man, I was so fucking pissed because a lot of people don't know this about me. Out of all my favorite DC characters, my favorite DC hero is the Flash. I love the Flash. Flash is my favorite DC hero. Ever since the fucking crossover event he had with Superman in the 90s cartoon, the animated series cartoon, I always love the Flash. So, you know, to finally see him on the big screen was such a special moment for me. And to know that he was finally getting a movie was such a huge, big thing for me. However, what ultimately killed my hype before the movie even started, before the movie even begun, was the premise alone about this film. As a Flash fan, and as someone who's actually read a few of the Flash comic books, it is crazy to me that the first Flash movie, the first outing of the Flash movie, is literally an adaptation of Flashpoint. Now, to me, we have so many other stories to choose from. We have Flashes of Two Worlds comic book we could have took inspiration from. We have Terminal Velocity. We have Rogue War. We have all these different Flash stories we could take from the pantheons of Flash stories. But you decided to take fucking Flashpoint. Why? Oh wait, because you want to capitalize on what Marvel's doing currently, which is the whole multiverse shit and bringing actors back and whatnot. It angers me that Flash can't stand on his own. He's such a fascinating, cool character that he can't stand on his fucking own. And he needed Batman, 2 Batmans, 3 if you count George Clooney, 3 Batmans, and a Supergirl to help his movie. And that didn't even help his fucking movie because the movie bombed so fucking hard. And it angers me. So already the pure concept of this movie alone I fucking hate as a Flash fan. But just to get on with the movie, the CG's fucking awful. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The CG's fucking awful. And I don't give a fuck what Adi Budietti or whatever the fuck the director's name is. I don't give a fuck what he has to say. Clearly, the budget has been blown out of proportion because this movie's been delayed. So much bullshit has happened with Ezra Miller and his bullshit. So much bullshit happened that the budget bloomed, and so they had no money to fucking finish this fucking movie. All right, or finish the CG. The CG looks awful, and I get it. It's supposed to be like him in the Speed Force and running, and so it's like distorted, but it looks awful. I can't stand fucking Michael Keaton's Batman. And not even for the ways how you would think. I don't like Michael Keaton's Batman because, let's fucking face it, and they're not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it because it's my fucking channel. No one gives a fuck except fucking 40-year-olds and older people give a fuck. The younger generation don't give a fuck about fucking this Batman. All right, so to hear that they were gonna make him be the main recurring Batman for this universe is fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. No one gives a fuck about this about Michael Keaton's Batman at this point. Only old heads give a fuck about that. New heads, you know what would have made more sense? Christian Bale's Batman, because most of us grew up with Christian Bale's Batman. That would have made more sense to bring him back, which I'm glad he turned it down and he was like, no, I'm not gonna make a cameo appearance, because he understood why The Dark Knight is such a beloved franchise. So I'm glad he didn't take it. But I just felt like he's just there because, well, we kind of want to capitalize on Spider-Man No Way Home, so let's add in this old actor who came back, even though they didn't realize that most people know who Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is. Most people know who Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is. These are all around the 2000s. No one gives a fuck about no old ass Batman. Come on, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. The fight scene was cool, but come on, get out of here. Like, come on. Like, let's be real here. Let's be fucking real here. Another thing. Fucking, again, Ezra Miller. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I know people love Ezra Miller until he became a criminal. But I never liked Ezra Miller. Even in the Snyder Cut, I still wasn't a huge fan. But I really thought he was better in that movie. But I've never been a huge fan of Ezra Miller interpretation of Flash. And in this movie, I think he's actually doing they are doing a really good job in the role. But holy fuck, half of the time he's fucking annoying. The second Barry is so fucking annoying. Holy shit. I cannot stand this Barry. He is so fucking immature, annoying, insufferable, and it's everything I hated about fucking Whedon's Justice League, Flash. Just insufferable. The only thing that I liked was that they explained his powers and how his powers work through this Flash, through like Barry 2. And I was like, that's actually kind of a cool way to do like an origin story and explain the powers without feeling redundant. So they found a clever way to explain that. But overall, this movie was just garbage. I could not stand it. And then you have the most, like, holy shit, the fucking scene where it's like a cameo where they do like Christopher Reeves and whatnot, like, and like fucking Nicolas Cage cameo. Oh my goodness, that shit looks so awful. And I'm like, bro, like, the only people who would even get the fucking Christopher Reeves, like, shit is, like, hardcore film fans. And I'm like, bro, like, fuck this movie. And another thing I don't like about this movie is Barry not learning his fucking lesson. Like, and this is kind of like a little bit of a nitpick I had with Amazing Spider-Man as well. It's like the heroes not learning their lesson and just kind of just like fucking making the same mistake. So it's almost like they didn't grow at all throughout the course of the adventure. I was like, what was the point of doing this fucking whole entire movie? If the whole point of the movie was to say, Barry, you can't change what happened. You can't just go back and fix things. You need to learn to accept how things are and move forward. Why would you then change that and be like, oh, well, remove the tomato juice and the tomato sauce, and now my dad's free? And I'm like, bro, did you not learn anything from this fucking movie? Like, bro, it's like so fucking asinine. He has the right to lecture the second Barry, but he didn't learn his lesson. And it was just stupid to me. I just hate this fucking movie, man. The only thing that was kind of amusing was, again, like seeing, again, George Clooney shit was pretty good, and again, some of the fight scenes was good when the CG wasn't awful. But yeah, like, this movie's just a fucking waste. I fucking hate this movie with a burning passion. Oh, and by the way, holy fuck, Sasha Calle as fucking Supergirl. Girl, they wasted your time, boo-boo. They wasted your time, bro, because you're so good in the role. It's a shame she won't be coming back to play Supergirl, because I actually thought her physique and everything and how she looked so mighty in the role. It's a shame, but it is what it is. But I will say, the only thing I really loved about this movie, the Ben Affleck's goodbye speech that he gave to Barry, I thought that was really good. And Ben Affleck is the only, I guess, he finally learned how to play Batman, and his Batman is this is the only good thing, and it's fucking a shame. Anyway, I'm done talking about this movie. The greater we move away from this movie, the better. Moving on to a really, really, really surprise hit, the most underrated DC film, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle. I think this is the most underrated fucking comic book movie. I really love Blue Beetle. Really, 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 really love Blue Beetle. First of all, in terms of representation, I thought this movie handles it fucking awesome. Fucking awesome how they handle representation. I love how most, if not all, the jokes are jokes that probably Latinos would probably get. Some of the jokes just went through my head. Like, I didn't get it. And I was like, that's completely fine. To me, this is like, this is their Black Panther, all right? Because I really appreciate what this movie was doing. I appreciate so much of this movie. I love Jaime. Jaime is such a good character, man. Like, I felt for Jaime, like, and you know, I've been in the same shoes Jaime's been in, where it's like, you come back, or you finish college and whatnot, and you got a degree and whatnot, you're thinking, oh shit, you got out of college and you're ready to go, and then like you hear like all the nonsense and you feel kind of helpless. You feel like, damn, like my family is dependent on me to really make a difference and provide for them, and you kind of like can't really do that. And you feel like the world's just beating you up. Like, I've definitely been in that shoes with Jaime. But also having a family that's so supportive, so cool, so awesome. Me and Jaime connected. So I was like, I fucking love it. I love the Scarab. Like, I love like the transformation with the Scarab. That scene with the transformation of the Scarab is so good, and the costume, oh my god, it's so comic accurate. It's like, fuck my dick. Oh, they cooked so much. Again, this movie's so fucking good, man. Again, funny but also so charming. I love near the end with the Scarab that, you know, now they fully synchronized together. Scarab speaks Spanish. I was like, fuck yeah, this movie's lit. All right, like, this movie is awesome. The fight fighting and everything. It's cool to finally have a superhero movie. Like, remember battle damage, like suits being battle damage. Like, god damn it, what happened to those days where suits and armor and shit was being destroyed and was battle damage? Oh lord, oh lord. We have come fucking far, bro. And I'm glad that this movie reminded me of that. Man, this movie's fucking badass. I love it. And George Lopez is in here and he's fucking awesome. Everything about this movie is awesome. I love that the third act is literally just we gotta go save Jaime. And of course they would be able to get inside the highly trained military place because Jaime's grandma is like an ex guerrilla fighter. I was like, oh man, that is so fucking smart. I was like, oh, that is so good. This movie's kicking ass. It kicks ass from beginning to end, and I love it for that. It's not, I don't think it's that, it didn't leave me pumped up like Wonder Woman, like, yeah! But I definitely would say, if James Gunn does not put fucking Jaime in the DCEU in his DC movies, I'm gonna fucking lose it. We needed a sequel to this movie ASAP, and it's a shame we never got it. So it is what it is. Hopefully we'll see him again soon. But yeah. Now, the final movie that will end this little long tirade, this long video. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of long, but bear with me. We're near the end. The final movie, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I gotta say, even when James Wan is kind of at his weakest, he still puts out a fun movie. Yeah, about this movie, I gotta say, it's not as good as the first movie. Nowhere as near as good as the first movie. And I think a lot of that has to do with how they switched up the formula. Instead of it Mera and Aquaman like going on an adventure together, it's Mera and it's Aquaman and Orn working together. And I think what hurts the film a little bit is that they just don't have that type of like chemistry of like, oh well, it doesn't have the Loki and the Thor chemistry where it's just like, oh man, at any moment is Orn gonna betray Aquaman? Like, you never get that moment, and it's just them going on a magical adventure to stop fucking Black Manta. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. But overall, it's really a fun movie. It takes a lot of the elements it already had, which is the world building and whatnot, and they just added on top of that. But I will say, it's just nowhere as good as the first movie in terms of like characters, in terms of like character development and all that. It's just nowhere on terms. I also don't like that Black Manta is kind of like possessed by like some evil old fucking ancient king. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think that's lame. But I will say, Black Manta has some funny ass lines. Like, this man said, bro, like, you stole this man's kingdom and his girl. How low can you go, Aquaman? like that was actually pretty funny. I'm paraphrasing, but that was funny. But honestly, this movie is just like pretty good. It's not bad, but I definitely liked it more than Shazam. But it's just not doing that much. And it doesn't help that Jason Momoa is acting more like Jason Momoa and less like Arthur Curry. He's just like, I just felt like watching this movie, the whole halfway through, I was just watching it. I was just kind of like, I feel like James Wan and the whole team was just like, fuck it. we don't care, so we're just gonna kind of like throw the wrench in the sink and call it a fucking day. Like they just didn't care, but it is fun. I think there's more action set pieces. There's more of everything, but it's just nowhere as memorable as the first movie. And for that, I just can't put it any higher. But I definitely enjoyed my time with it. I didn't hate it. And also, there's a nod to Iron Man 1. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. But yeah. Funny enough, I think the after credit scene where Orn eats a fucking burger that has a roach in it sums up the DCEU pretty well. It's like, damn, there's some shit in this shit, but there's some good moments. But overall, that's gonna do it for the video. So I hope you're looking at this list and you're appreciating it. But if I could say the one thing that killed the DCEU, it was really just Warner Brothers, and I say this all the time. People get mad at me when I say this, but I really think if Warner Brothers wasn't so fixated on catching up to the MCU, I really honestly feel they would have been on top way more than Marvel, because look what's happening to Marvel now. I think Marvel is like really declining, and we're seeing that even with a movie like Thunderbolts, which is fucking amazing and nobody went to go see it. I think the DCEU would have stood in a chance if we didn't have just poor decisions after poor decisions from Warner Brothers, just getting directors like a Zack Snyder, who has a complete vision that is like very polarizing, but then panicking at the last minute and not doing subtle but fundamental course corrections. I truly believe there's some good diamonds in the rough. I just talked about a few of them. But overall, what really just was the nail on the coffin was catching up to Marvel. Sometimes in life, you don't need to catch up to anybody. Sometimes you gotta go your own way, your own path. Because when you do that, you'll stumble onto some goodness. You'll find out that you're probably doing better than the person that's at the top. And I think there were generally some good spots. There were some great actors. Again, Margot Robbie, Henry Cavill, fucking Jason Momoa, he's continuing. Yeah, like fucking Jaime's actor, like so many good stuff that was in the DCEU but could never be fully appreciated because it was muddled by just corporate bullshit and just mess and poor decisions from not only just the corporate side but also from the creation side. And I'm glad we have someone like James Gunn, who's gonna steer the course, and it's gonna be like put screenplays first, then making a great film second. I think that is the way to go, and I can't wait for DC Studios Superman. It's a bright new day, so I'm gonna say farewell to the video. Farewell to the DCEU. You are gone, but some of you will not be forgotten, but it is time for us to move on, and that is what the fuck I'm gonna do. So I want to basically thank everybody for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, please comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know, what is your favorite DCEU movie? Matter of fact, give me your top 5, because my top 5 is like right here. So comment below and let me know. And as always, more videos is on the way. It's your boy, Mrs. Degenerate, signing out. Have a good one.